everyone, and welcome to my kitchen. My name is Andrea, and today I'm going to show you how to make an oatmeal tart. Now, this tart was inspired from a dessert my grandmother used to make, which was an oatmeal pie. Same ingredients, just a slight change from a pie to a tart. She used to make this every year for Thanksgiving. I don't know if it was because of pecans, maybe, they were expensive way back. Maybe that's how it was created. I have no idea. But I know I didn't like pecans, so I didn't care for pecan pie. But oatmeal pie became my absolute favorite. So, and ever since, I always have to have it for Thanksgiving. So I actually took it from an actual pie, because you would really need to double the filling for a pie, and that's pretty thick and it's on the sweet side. So I just left it at the same measurements, but then put it in a pie shell or tart shell so that it wasn't nearly as thick, so you could have a little treat and not overindulge, because at Thanksgiving you're going to have apple pie and pumpkin pie, and that doesn't even count all the other stuff that we've had. So this just kind of keeps this down to a minimum a little bit. So first thing, we're going to start with a pie pastry, and you can make your own pastry. Usually at Thanksgiving, I am doing so much cooking and baking that if I can cut a corner somewhere, I will. So I like to just buy these pastries that come in the refrigerated section of your grocery store that are already made. They just roll them up. So I just put a little bit of flour on my counter there just so it doesn't stick, and I'm just going to put a tiny bit here, because what I want to do is just give it just a little bit of a roll out, because it is a little not quite even, and I want it to roll out a little bit just to make it easier to get in the pie shell. So it doesn't take much. You don't need a lot of pressure. And that will probably do it. Oh yes. Okay. So I'm just going to take this, roll it on there, roll it up like that so that you've got it. And just to show you, if you don't know what a tart pan looks like, there are some that are actually a solid. This one has the bottom that comes out. So just put that in there. And this is actually a 9-inch round tart pan. And then we're just going to lay this on here about like so. There we go. And just kind of let it fall in. Like that. And then I'm going to take it, and I'm actually going to tuck it under this way, because getting the pie tart out of this shell can sometimes be a little challenging. And it sometimes tends to tear a little bit right along that edge where it meets the corner. So hopefully doing this will kind of give it a little more structure and support. So we're just gonna, I'm just kind of rolling it under. I don't know if you can see that. I'm gonna do it this way. So I'm just kind of taking it and rolling the excess under like so. And now I'm just going to gently just kind of press it in, because this tart pan is fluted. So I'm just going to gently, so our pie shell, so I'm just going to set this aside, wipe this down. All right, for our filling, not many ingredients. So we need 3/4 of a cup of sugar. And then we need a 1/4 teaspoon of salt. And just give that a mix. Just mix the salt up in with the sugar. And then we need a half a stick of melted butter. You can melt that in a microwave if you have one. I usually just cut a half a stick of butter up, put it in a dish and sit it on my stove while my oven is preheating, and it will go ahead and melt it. So mix that in there. And then we're going to need 3/4 of a cup of light corn syrup. So they make two kinds. They make a dark, you'll know it because it's really dark, and then the clear, which they call light corn syrup. So you're just going to need some of that. 3/4 of a cup. And this is why I make it in a tart pan. Sugar, corn syrup. You don't need a big piece of it. All right. So let's try to mix that in a little bit. Then we're going to need 2 eggs. Stick that one in. There we go. Those eggs beaten up there. Just give this a good mix. Then we're going to add 1 teaspoon of vanilla. Whoop. This jar is almost empty. And then last ingredient, 3/4 of a cup of old-fashioned oats. So don't get the instant oats. They are not the same. You want the old-fashioned oats. They have a lot more structure than the instant oats do. Just mix that up. And then we're going to put this in our pie, in our tart shell. And I just put this on a baking sheet just in case. I've never had one leak, but you never know. It does make it much easier to get out of the oven, I will tell you that. So when you have oven mitts. So just dump this in. Just like that. And then I'm going to pop this in the oven. 350-degree oven. It's preheated. It's going to bake for 40 minutes roughly. So I will check it. You will not be able to use a toothpick method like you would for a cake. So when I check it, I'm going to check for if it's golden on top. If it's still really light, then it's not done. So you want a nice golden color. And when you jiggle it, you don't want to see any movement in there. So we're gonna go 40 minutes. I'll check it, and if I need to add a couple more minutes to it, I will. So, okay, so our oatmeal tart baked for a total of 45 minutes. It just wasn't quite where I wanted it to be at 40, but you can see how nice and golden it is on the top, and then the crust has just a light golden color to it. So this is perfect. This has been sitting out for about 45 minutes to an hour, so it's cooled down. And then we're just going to pop it out of the ring, just like that. And it seems like that doubling the crust down has helped because that popped right off of there, super easy. And it looks like it will come off the bottom as well. So let's see. Can't tell if it's stuck. When you're dealing with corn syrup, you just never know. It might be stuck just a little bit, but that's okay. So let's just cut this. I know this is a definite crowd pleaser. I made it for some friends, not this past year, but the year before, and they absolutely loved it. And then I had two of them, I had to make ones for them for their holidays. So, and there we go. We're going to put this on a plate. This does not necessarily need to be refrigerated. You could refrigerate it. It's small enough you're probably going to eat it all on Thanksgiving Day, but you can see how lovely that is. So you can kind of see where the oatmeal kind of just sits on top a little bit, and then like a pecan pie where the pecans sit on top and then the filling is down below. So, and there you have it, my grandmother's oatmeal tart. Enjoy!